Hello and welcome to Camera Reviews. I've got a book here from probably one of my most favourite independent publishers at the minute, and it is a company called Hoxton Mini Press. They do a whole series of books in this similar style, hardback cover, quarter bound, 8 by 5 inches, really good quality. I just love the smallness of it. It's almost a little bit bigger than a zine, and they sit so nicely on the bookshelf. This is Adventures in the Lee Valley. It's by Braden and David Campany. It's number 12 from a series of East London photo stories. I know the area well. I've lived in London and worked in London for over 20 years, and I know this area particularly well with friends, with my work. The Lee Valley, some will say I'm completely wrong, but it is, if you can picture, if you don't know London that well, if you pick around the area of the Olympic site, from Millennium Dome towards where we now established where the Olympic site was down at Stratford, all the way up to Luton, really, and it describes it a little bit better in the book. David and Polly went in a few years before the Olympic site started developing, and I remember that period. I remember that whole build up to the Olympics, and when everybody realised that that area was going to be completely transformed. I'm not too familiar with Polly's work. I am very familiar with David Campany and his academic side, not so much as a photographer, but more as a writer, an academic writer, and I think with his association with Westminster University. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a little skim through the book, and then I'm going to point you in a direction with some links down there, so you can go to Hoxton Mini Press and buy this book. It was about £14. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. Let's have a look at it. So like I said, I'm quite familiar with the area. Actually, here, I don't know if you can see that well, but this is some of the books. Book 1, I've lived in East London for 86.5 years. Book 7, Columbia Road. Columbia Road is where the flower market is, I think, on a Sunday. Book 9, Hackney by Night. I think there's some great photographers in here. I think Zed Nelson, I think Dougie Wallace has done books for them. I think there's a really credible set of books, a really credible set of photographers, and a really credible set of projects. Let's just have a quick look through it. A lovely picture. I feel that it's uncoated. I'm not a massive knowledge on papers. It's got a very lovely subdued tone to it. So this is the nature side. The tranquility, I guess, that's a shot showing the beautiness. And this is a familiar sight to me, the industrial heartland, just as you're coming out of Stratford under the tunnel on the way to Leytonstone and stuff. That's on the right side going north. There's a sort of massive industrial heartland there. I think BT Sports even up there, their film studios are up there now. Development. I love this. It's very if you're heading out of London, somewhere like say on the A13 and going out towards that part of London, it's very similar. It's a very similar landscape, you know. People associate London with high-rise blocks and Buckingham Palace and lots of housing, but a lot of London's like this. There's a lot of green areas, and there's an awful lot of this juxtaposition of industrial sort of cemented roadscape and fields and untouched landscape, you know. Construction. It's really beautiful. Love that shot. It's a really surreal shot. Very surreal. Doesn't say who shot them, or not in this part anyway. Let's go to the end of the book and have a look. There's no, what I can see, there's no shoot list to who's shooting it, which is fine. There's a little bit, it's quite leaving it, it's irrelevant, I guess, and not a joint project. This for me is very definitely how I remember the Lee Valley. There is still a little bit of this here, but this is how I remember it before a lot of the 2012 Olympic sites took hold and redeveloping the land. I remember a lot of controversy at the time with people being uprooted, and I did a little bit of photography for the PR companies and stuff for the Olympic build-up, and I saw a little bit of the development. I wish I'd have thought of doing something like this. Lovely shot. And how new development and old, reminiscent of factories and litter, I guess, and dumping, and I guess this might be part of a scrapyard or something. There's a cat. There's a development of the building, the Olympic site. Maybe this is showing that it hasn't changed certain areas. You know, maybe there's a walkway still. I know Stratford, I remember Stratford many years ago when there wasn't a lot there. Now it's an amazing hive of activity with property and shopping centres, and there's it's a bit of a focus for a lot of regeneration in terms of its help. Regeneration's helped it in economically, I think, and there's a lot of whether that just be with shops and stuff like that, which is fair enough, but I think it's certainly changed it for some. I think for the better. We have to maybe have lost some of this natural surroundings. I don't know in this particular part if that we've actually lost this, but I like the fact that we can question that. I love this. It's wonderful. I love that early morning or that late afternoon sun, giving it that sort of almost summer holiday feel in a sense. I'm not really sure if that's the right way to describe it, but I just love what the sun's doing to the shot and making it a little bit more like added to the memory of the context of the picture, making it more significant in a memory. It's almost like a haze, if that makes any sense. So I'm not going to show you all the book. I love that. I'm not going to show you all the book. I think you should go off to hoxtonminipress.com. I think you should buy it. I think you should support Hoxton. I have a few of them. I might have a look at a couple of others. I'm not professing on these to tell you what I think and what they're about. I will make some suggestions, or I'll give you my opinion. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, this is a way for me to show you what I like, to show you a book you might not have had a chance to see, give another perspective, just introduce you really. I don't want to change your mind. I want you to buy it. I want you to support photography, and I want you to support Hoxton Mini Press. Thank you.